Hey, everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm Brian Jones, and I'm a trainer in Heartfulness Meditation. And I'm really happy that you're taking a little bit of time out of your day to for us all to be together, really. It's so wonderful that we have a technology that enables us to see each other and communicate with each other all around the world. Isn't it a beautiful thing? I mean, we look at the world today and, there's so many negative things going on, but, there's so much beauty happening in the world. It's just a wonderful place. And I remind myself all the time that, look, the world is full of good people. The world is full of good people, and we meet them every single day. And, we just have to stay with that, because in the long run, surely our goodwill and good intentions and hopes for the future will prevail. So I have the chat. I'm able to receive chats from, if you're on YouTube. I'm sorry, I don't receive them from Instagram. It's a technical thing, but we'll eventually someday figure that out. But I receive chats from Facebook and from YouTube. So if you would like to add anything in the chat, say who you are, say where you're from, that's great. Love to get to hear those things and get to know you. All right. So yeah, it's a gorgeous day here. Let me say that first. It's absolutely picture perfect out. I can't wait. I'm going to go for a walk after this session today. Can't wait to get out there. So today, the theme is thoughts. What about thoughts? I know you never have any thoughts, right? We have thoughts all the time. There is just, what is with that, right? Our mind is racing all the time. And how many people complain these days about problems sleeping? And, the problem is that the mind just won't shut off. And the thoughts have got such a hold of our attention that there's nothing we can do about it. So first, I'd like to say a couple of things about the mind. So the mind thinks. That's the nature of the mind. The mind thinks. But what's really happened is that we have inadvertently trained our mind to think more. We're constantly thinking. We've trained the mind to believe that this hyperactive state of thought is its natural state. So the mind is happy thinking. That's what it believes. This is my space. This is what I do. I do it really good. If we could throw in the ego, I think so good. And these things, just like they affect sleep, they can actually affect our meditation. And this is one of the number one complaints that I hear from people about, what am I going to do about all these thoughts during my meditation? So I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but first, let me say hello to some folks. Vanita, hi. Balatar, hello, good morning, evening. Chaitra, okay, Vanita, Permula, Perumo, okay, I can't pronounce that, but thank you for being here. Towards Divinity, recognize the name. Sushila, hi. Satyanarayana. I'm not doing so good today. So anyway, with the names, but thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate that. So I want to start by Lauren. Hello from Cleveland. You're in Cleveland? Me too. That's amazing. Maybe you're my neighbor. We don't even know that. Okay, Radha, hi. Hi, everybody. Okay, so anyway, let me get into this. So I'm going to read a part of something that I wrote on Quora just recently. It's a section, and it relates to thoughts and our spiritual journey and, what we can do about all of this. So here's what I would like to read. The spiritual journey to uncover our real and pure self in its fullest expression has nothing much to do with right or wrong. Those are concepts we created that have spawned guilt, shame, and fear. It all comes down to something the wonderful spiritual guide Babaji said, and he said, live simply and in tune with nature. Live simply and in tune with nature. What are we doing with our thoughts and actions that have distorted nature's gifts into whims and desires? First, let's talk about abundance. Nature gives abundantly everything we need to thrive in this world. However, we want our own abundance in the form of a great lover, money, a big house, so many things. But what have we done to nature's abundance? Well, we polluted the oceans, the air, even space. We cut down the forests, poured poison on our food that we grow. We created false boundaries called countries, so people thought that they were unique to each other, which resulted in disagreements, greed, and war. We built a world where we have to pay money to live here. This is ridiculous. So we have replaced, or we have sort of disgraced nature's abundance that could provide for us so well if we lived simply and in tune with nature. And then we replace that abundance with our need for our own type of abundance. Okay, so this is where we're at. Now, let's talk about abundance of thoughts. We are so obsessed with our own abundance that we have created an overabundance of thoughts. In other words, instead of living simply and in tune with nature, our mind's activity has gone out of our control to the point that we can't sit quietly with ourselves anymore. Really? You know what I mean? Our attention span has reduced as we seek constant stimulus through our many devices, phones, iPads, computers, to give us continual satisfaction, not unlike sexual desires, which was the topic of this. I'm taking a section out of a bigger article that I wrote. So they're really, we're always in search of some sort of satisfaction, that we get through interaction. So that's abundance of thoughts. Now, I want to talk about abundance of wishes. A desire is something needing immediate fulfillment. But what about wishes? A wish is for something to be fulfilled in our future. We are always wishing for this and that. I wish I had a better job. I wish I had a new car. I wish my wife would stop yelling at me. I wish my kids would study in school. I wish there was no line today at Starbucks. Wishes act like ripples in our consciousness that blur our future from being what it should be. These wishes are not real aspirations or intentions. They have no clear direction. So all this has to do with our thoughts. So the problem, we are powerful. We are powerful. Whatever we entertain in our mind takes ownership over us. We are now like renters having to obey the controlling landlord. Our thoughts, ideas, and inspirations are powerful, but so are our opinions, our likes and dislikes, prejudices, and more. Whatever we choose to put our attention on will gain more and more power. It becomes the predominant thought. If we keep giving it attention, it starts to control our mind, which then affects our emotions and then our body. For example, imagine someone says something to you in the morning, maybe at work, and you felt it was slightly insulting. Just a little bit, just small, Okay. But perhaps it was a very small thing. But we keep circling around back to this incident, adding more and more conclusions about why we didn't like what they said. So we start circling back all morning into the afternoon. Our emotions start to rise, and by mid-afternoon, this is our only thought, what this person said. Now we become so upset that we feel it in our body. Our blood pressure rises. We feel angry, anxious, and ready to retaliate. This is the nature of the mind and our thoughts, and how we have taken this beautiful ability of the mind, and it's become like mind pollution in a way. So we no longer have control or regulation of our mind. So what do we do about this? Enter meditation. Meditation will be the most frustrating thing you will ever try. Okay, let me just tell you that up front. Okay, but there's a lot of different types of meditation, and many of them are just to sit and witness your thoughts. So, you sit there and you just witness your thoughts, and eventually, that we're able to become a little bit separated from our thoughts and be able to see those. So the example I give about this situation, and you've heard me say this before, is I liken it to a hurricane. So the hurricane's got a couple of parts to it. One is the wall of the storm. You can think that our thoughts are like that. And in the middle of the hurricane is the eye of the storm, which is completely calm. Now, our awareness, because we've let the mind be undisciplined for so long, our awareness is constantly in the wall of the storm. So that's why we say we have a stream of thought. We have a flow of thought. Thought is always in motion. So our awareness has become completely associated with our thoughts and our thought movement, our thought activity. Now, in meditation, we train ourselves to remove our awareness from that stream, from that wall of the storm. We train ourselves to remove our awareness out of that, to stop associating with all of that thought movement, and we move into the eye of the storm, which is all peaceful, quiet. We can call it our center. We move into our center. Okay, now I want to talk specifically about heartfulness meditation, because that is the meditation that I've been doing for most of my life. And heartfulness has got, some unique aspects to it that help us to more easily move out of that wall of the storm and get to our own inner center. Okay. So one of the main things that is unique to heartfulness is something called transmission. And I spent a whole episode on this, so I'm not going to go into it again. But, we need help. We need help to get out of that, powerful flow of thoughts, and the power we give to them. A transmission you can think of as something that helps us. And when we receive this yogic transmission, which is the subtlest life essence, it's I don't even want to call it an energy, it's the subtlest of vibrations. When we receive that in heartfulness, the mind welcomes it. The mind welcomes this subtle and very calming vibration. The mind welcomes it, and the mind starts to settle down right away. And you're going to find, and you're going to see this when we meditate together, you're going to find that it's not that difficult to meditate when we're utilizing yogic transmission. Okay. It becomes very easy to go deep. And you'll find that the mind starts to settle within. In the beginning, when you first are doing this, it might take 10 or 15 minutes, but then all of a sudden you'll experience a distinct shift. It's as though we downshifted and the mind becomes a lot less active. Then there can be other shifts too, where we even drop down further. And we can get to a point in our meditation very easily where there are no thoughts whatsoever. And we just go very deep. We feel like we're deeply absorbed in some beautiful inner condition. And that we call the meditative state. And we can call that deepest of meditations. We can call that samadhi. So this is what we are doing when we use the tool of heartfulness meditation. It helps us to regulate the mind's activities. It helps us to lessen, to weaken the strong tendency of the mind to always be engaged with its thinking and its different permutations of thought, that spin out of control. Now, you can imagine in that scenario I gave where in the morning it started as a tiny little thought, maybe a small reaction. And then as we gave that thought more power by the afternoon, we're all upset and angry and emotional. Okay. So you can just imagine that if we can use a tool like heartfulness meditation, the mind becomes regulated. We will stop giving into that tendency to indulge in and exaggerate these thoughts. And we let these things roll off us. And life becomes so much simpler and in tune with nature, right? Simpler and in tune with nature, which is what we want to do. So it's all about returning to our simple inner condition, so that we can truly be in tune with not only in tune with nature, but in tune with our inner nature. We want to be in tune with our inner nature. Sound good? So I'd like for us to meditate together. I would like you to experience this. I want you to experience heartfulness meditation. I want you to experience this yogic transmission. So I invite you to take a little extra time now, okay? Don't go rushing off, to see who sent you a text and what's happening next. Just set everything aside and let's meditate together and experience that deep natural peace, which is always with us. We just have to find it and uncover it. All All right, so we've got a number of people with us today. That's good. All right, so let's all sit comfortably together. And I want you to find a comfortable position. It's very important that you are sitting comfortably because we want to completely forget the body. And let's all take a slow, deep breath in together. Let it go. Feel your body relaxing. And just feel your arms, your forearms, and your hands are deeply relaxing. And just let them rest in your lap. Let your shoulders relax and drop down. And now let's let our awareness drop down from our head down to our heart. And rest on the heart. Now I want you to rest on the source of light that's already present in our heart. It's the source of love, lightness. Rest on that source. And feel the source is inviting us deep within. If any thoughts arise, very gently return to the source and feel that it's inviting you inwards. Let's stay with that thought. That's all. So please keep your eyes closed and observe how you're feeling. Now let's just have the thought that this deep, peaceful feeling is expanding within us. We're making it our own. You can expand it outside as well. And whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Okay, so that is what we call in heartfulness a sitting or a group sitting, group meditation, or sit together. It's very easy. I hope you enjoyed that and could go deep in the meditation. All right, so I would like to just say hello to Anirudh, Anu, Rita, Manoj, Sunita, Sheila, Maya Harris. Hi, Maya. Great. Chaitra, Archana. So nice that all of you are joining in. Lalita, wonderful. Heartfulness. Great name. Thank you. All right, everybody. So again, really appreciate you. Oh, Brian Doheny. Wow. Nice to have you, Brian. Thank you all for taking the time to come together and meditate together. And I hope some of those ideas will help you. And I just leave you with one more thing about reducing the thoughts in meditation. You know, I think, especially if you're a beginner at this, if you find that you sit down to meditate and there's a lot of thoughts, you're not meditating. Okay, meditation means to keep returning to the object of the meditation. So if we just sit down and try to do the divine light in the heart or the source of light in the heart, and then we spend the rest of the time just observing our thoughts, we're not actually doing the practice of meditation, because the practice of meditation is when we keep returning gently, very gently, not forcefully. We keep returning to the source of light in the heart. We notice the thoughts come back again. All right, we see that. We gently return to the source of light in the heart. That is the practice of meditation. So you can all practice that this week. All right, everybody. Ravi, Radha, Sonal, Carla, Lauren, Tammy, thank you so much. And as I always say, stay with the heart, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. All the best. Take care now.